So, the vaccine mandate. If you recall, how long ago it was, but the government was going to force it upon every individual in the workforce down to any employee that was part of a business of 100 employees or more. Finally, the Supreme Court stepped in and took care of that. We did, in Congress, exercise the Congressional Review Act. In fact, my office led on that. That was a heavy hand of the federal government, regardless of what you think about how to navigate through the disease itself. The military, many Hoosiers, it's a very well-represented state in terms of in the military, associated support. Their ability to recruit, it was mentioned earlier, has been hampered big time, to where recently you have folks talking about to have the safe number of people there, you have to consider having a draft again. It's sad that it takes this, and finally we've exercised the leverage, I think, to where we're not going to just keep going along with it. Other thing I noticed, many Hoosiers told me that when they were in any occupation within the military, that there was variability among where they were, what they were doing, in terms of how much latitude you were going to have to maybe work through it. Stories like, well, we've got 3 to 4 months to work it out, to where they thought maybe they could cajole you into doing it. Imagine the anxiety that put into people, having to figure whether they're going to still be able to be with a job, and especially on the support activities to boot. Let's get to the fiscal side of it. There's no place in the country that can run the way this joint does. I mean, I'm an appropriator and on the budget committee, double misery. Bernie Sanders gavels us in for a budget hearing where in 2 years we haven't had one discussion on budget mechanics or what we're going to do for the biggest business in the world that so many people look to. It is a broken system. And then you don't even do appropriations on time. Remember, this is something we should have had done September 30th, over a couple months ago. Last year, we didn't get it done until late February, early March. That is because you keep it behind closed doors, whether you're an appropriator or on the budget committee, which is a useless appendage as a committee here in the Senate currently. We haven't done one and stuck to it in over 10 years. Wouldn't be that big a deal until a couple decades ago we started putting everything on the credit card. With a couple wars, Obama administration came in and saw that if you can do it there, let's double down. Still, debt as a percentage of our GDP was manageable. Rick and I get here 4 years ago, $18 trillion in debt. Imagine, this is debt you guys and your kids will be paying for, is at 31. And our fearless leader just put the only blueprint out there that shows us $45 trillion in debt in 10 years, and takes the $1 trillion deficits that were bad enough and now baselines in $1.5 trillion deficits. Ask you all this, see how quickly you can come up with it. What's 1% of 30 trillion? Billion. It's such a big number, no one can spit that out immediately. Take interest rates that have just gone up 3 percentage points and take 3% of 30 trillion. 900 billion. 900 billion plus the roughly 400 to 500 billion we already spend, that's about 1.5 trillion. That's going to be 50% more than we spend on either defense or discretionary domestic spending. That puts a little flesh on the bones. That's where we've come as a country. Shameful.